All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob for Smirking Gun Reviews, and we're back with The Man in the High Castle. We're at Season 1, Episode 9, Kindness. If you haven't seen the episode, this will be full of spoilers, so you've been warned. This is kind of a mixed bag episode because jumps right to Frank and Juliana. They are being held by the Yakuza, so on my to-go-me idea, I guess it just didn't seem like, why would the Yakuza, I don't know. Either way, they're being held, it's not Frank and Juliana, it's Joe and Juliana being held by the Yakuza. And I guess it's just one of those, like, you gave us the money, fuck you, we're taking you, we're gonna ransom you. I guess that's the Yakuza. Yeah. It's funny how this operates in, with the way that things are, that the Yakuza is still a thing. But it's so entrenched in their culture, I guess. It's basically like a sub government. And then now they operate in America. Like I don't know. It's a weird system. But they're basically being held for ransom, just like the film, just like everything else. Everything can be bought and paid for. Whoever can pay them. The thing is like, these people aren't trustworthy, so I don't understand why everything wouldn't just be a scam for them. Like, hey, we want this money, thanks for the money, we're not giving you, like, we don't have to give you anything, you're just stupid enough to pay us. But they pay to get the resistance people, Lem and then the other lady, they pay to get Juliana out. But of course, Juliana owes Joe, and she doesn't want to leave without him. So guess who's got to pay the money? Poor old Frank has $46,000. So while Frank and Ed are sitting there at the bus stop like a couple of chumps, Juliana's sitting in there, and I mean, I get it. Frank doesn't want to leave without her, but poor Ed's out a bunch of money for the bus tickets. So she goes to Frank, who's now hiding out at Ed's dad's house. Can you see where this is going? The old crotchety person who, he'll never turn on him. He'll never threaten to turn on him. He threatens to turn on him. Just, what are you bringing into my house? You're gonna get us all killed and all that. It's like, I don't know. There's always something like that in these kind of stories where you gotta deal with somebody like this. He's the polar opposite of Ed, who wants to help. But I would think that Ed's place would be a bad place to hide anyway. The Kemputai seem to have everything on lockdown, and I would think that if they were looking for Frank, one of the first places they'd look is at his co-workers' places of residence. And all they'd have to do is ask, who's Frank close to? And they'd say Ed, and they'd find Ed's house, and then they'd find Frank. But, again, small things that don't kill the enjoyment of the show, just things that I notice. So she talks Frank, who's undeniably, rightfully pissed off at her because they keep risking, yeah, I get it, he saved your life. But people die. People die all the time. I love what Frank says. Like, he's kind of gotten to the point in this world where he just, like, it doesn't matter. It's one guy, doesn't matter. We matter. Like, sometimes you just got to be able to walk away and let whatever's going to happen, happen. But she just can't do it because story, because love triangle, because of all this, things that they need to service the story. So he gives her the money. Except he goes to pay the ransom, which, hey, it is his money. He wants to meet this guy. Who's this guy that has gotten her so twisted up, And so he goes to the Yakuza. He pays for him. And then Joe wants the film. Because if he doesn't get the film, they're killing him. They're going to kill him. And so on the way out, he sees Frank's gun, takes it, and this is a pretty good scene. I mean, he starts popping people, but he's only got 2 bullets. So I don't know why. Like, did he know there was only the last bullet? Is that why he didn't shoot the leader of the Yakuza? Or this guy that's one of the head, I don't know. Maybe he's not much in the Yakuza, but in this situation, he is. If there wasn't an extra bullet in there, I think it would have just been cool if he had fired the gun and it didn't go off. Like, it's showing at least intent to kill this guy because there's no reason to keep this guy alive. Why hit him? Why knock him out? You are already on the run. You are screwed. You've got to get out of Dodge. You might as well shoot this guy because this guy has juice. So at the very least, they should have had a moment where he pulls the trigger and the guy goes, oh. But they get away with the film. They also like just kick that fan like right down. No, I've got pretty strong legs. I mean, above average strength in my legs. And he just like he's got like Hulk legs because that fan just flew out. And I'm sorry, but even if it was flimsy, it doesn't just pop out like it just like I don't know, like busting glass. It would still have some kind of give. Again, little stupid details. So Frank and Joe clearly separate. Joe goes one way, Frank goes the other, back to Juliana. And Ed, again, even when he enters his own house, he's like, like making a shit ton of noise. So maybe he just doesn't, maybe that's just how he was raised to like treat every door like you're, like somebody that you got to break in. It's like, hey everybody, what's for dinner? Like every time you come into a room, that would be hilarious. But he has something to show Juliana. And to be honest with you, I can't remember what it was. Because most of the things with Ed, I kind of tune out. And then Ed's dad tells him, they got 10 minutes to get out. Because what'd you get my son into? So they leave. Ed says his little goodbyes and gives them like some money. Cheerful, he takes the gun and of course he just sticks it right here. And I guess his dad, he had a couple of things to say about like, you got to do whatever it takes. That's why we lost because you got to be able to do what the other guys won't. That kind of thing. I mean, he just had these like just little tiny mini speeches that supposedly had something important to say. I don't know, but so we're finished with Ed for the time being, except when Inspector Kido, who at first goes to Tagomi, says he wants the records of stuff that the Yakuza have been doing. But then Kido and the Yakuza guy meet up. And they say they have, like, first off, Kido's supposed to kill himself because they haven't caught the assassin of the prince, the attempted assassin of the prince. He's supposed to kill himself because he couldn't find the guy yet. And that's why they're going after Frank. Because they know Frank didn't do it, but they, at least by putting the blame on somebody that they kind of can prove, they can kind of just become a patsy, it saves Kido's life from having to commit suicide. When he knows that the ballistics are from an assassin's bullet in a clock tower from a sniper rifle that was a Nazi agent. Now again, I can't remember all the details of this show. But I'm just, and I was wrong about the Yakuza last week. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool. It would at least give this character something more than just being the guy who knocks really loudly. And I would think that would be cool if it was Ed that was the Nazi, the person who fired the shots at the prince. I think that'd be an interesting way to go about it. They have the name. Kido says, name your price. And so that's over and done with. Another interesting thing here is Tagomi you concentrating really hard. This has to do with the alternate realities. We also have the whole thing with Wagner and Reinhard Heydrich. Okay, so this is a good use of music. Okay, unlike the last episode where it was half Japanese, half American singing. It's the don't they know it's the end of the world? Whatever. This was much better. Man Without Pity played as close-ups of somebody putting on their Nazi uniform. A World Without Pity, and it's Wegner. He's getting his uniform back, and he's sitting across from Reinhard. And he's basically giving him a free pass because he has the Führer's trust, if he works with him. And so Wegner has to make this deal, otherwise his family's dead. He's dead. It's all over. And Reinhard wants Wegner to go back to Berlin to kill the Führer. So there's something. I mean, I like that they haven't gotten rid of Wegner, but the other part about Wegner is if it's been said, I don't remember it, but we now know that for sure, at least I do, that the thing that they were delivering to the science guy in the Pacific States was the Heisenberg device, which is an H-bomb, atomic bomb, what have you. So there's a race to find, because of these films, it shows the atomic bombs. So now everybody's racing that, oh my gosh, there is a way to take one or both of us out. The Japanese wanted to hit the Germans wanted to hit the Japanese. This isn't about worrying about, oh, there's another world where the Americans won. This is about them taking one or another out. So that changes things about kind of the nature of the show. But anyway, Frank and Juliana are waiting. They leave. They're going to meet Joe at this school. They have to separate because this one Japanese guy was after him. One cop. But I guess one can turn into 100 if you kill him or something. So Joe, though, calls Obergruppenführer Smith. Now, Obergruppenführer Smith has been busy as well because he figures out that the one dude was the guy who was behind the attempted assassination. Now, it's a great scene, but you can see it coming. It's telegraphed a mile away. But they're up on the top of the frickin' building. And it's a really cool shot. It's clearly not, it's like green screen or whatever, partial green screen. But the guy's looking around like, I shouldn't be up here. I'm fucked. So why would he let Obergruppenführer have the leverage, like have the position to push him off the building and act like he doesn't see it coming? He knows it's coming. He's looking like, I'm fucked. And then when he confesses that he was under directions from Reinhard to do all this, that Reinhard's been trying to kill him. Look, it's cool to see the guy fly off the building. I wish they would have Wile E. Coyote'd it, though. They could have Wile E. Coyote'd that. They showed him almost all the way down. Just show the splat. Just so like Wile E. Coyote, a little poof of smoke as he hits the ground. Because you almost had it. You stuck the landing. They could say, this is a TVMA show, right? They could say fuck and they can show people in the brain and all this other stuff. They can show nudity, everything. I just wanted to see that guy hit the ground like Wile E. Coyote. Is that too much to ask? So that's done. And then after that, Smith gets the call from Joe saying he's got the film, had to kill a couple of guys, and I need to bring Juliana and her boyfriend out of here. Which, of course, that goes over as well as you would expect, because Obergruppenführer is just like, well, next time you see her, you got to shoot her, because, look, it was her choice to help you. She's an enemy of the state, blah, blah, blah. Joe doesn't take that well, destroys a perfectly good phone. And then Frank and Juliana are in the school. And they kind of get it under their skin, like, what's so special about this film? So they watch it. And in this, you see the film shows the H-bomb, but now it shows that it's in San Francisco. They got blown up. And people getting lined up and shot in the head. And one of them is Frank, who's watching this himself, seeing himself get shot in the back of the head. And the person that shoots him is Joe. So, we're talking about alternate realities, but now we're talking about like alternate realities of alternate realities. So we've got this universe where the Japanese and Germans won. We got the universe of that's closer to ours, I guess, or maybe it is ours, where it shows the Americans win. And now we have like possibly a third alternate reality where this is the possibility of the future of their universe if the H bomb got dropped on Japan by the Nazis. So very interesting. We've got like all sorts of worlds going on here, and we haven't even seen them yet. We've just seen film strips. So before the end, though, we got Obergruppenführer Smith comes home, and there's Reinhard. And he's sitting there, back to him, and of course, like he's sitting there regaling him. And I lost my train of thought for a second. Sorry. He tells him he wants to take him hunting, and then he should bring his kid along, his son. I just love him saying, or like Smith saying, "Let's leave our families out of this," and it gives him a time and a date. And so we're gonna see these two face off for the finale, and it'll be glorious. So I believe I've covered just about everything. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I'm sorry, I got really distracted there a minute ago, so I'm just kind of ending it because I don't remember anything. Everything got flushed out of my brain. So anyway, this is Rob for Smirking Gun Reviews. We're going to get to the 10th, this season finale here in a few minutes. In about an hour or so, I'll have that done, and we will see you on the next one. So have a good one. Bye.